everybody. I'm Renny Doyle with Auto Detailing TV. There's a big debate out there, and why I don't know, but there's a big debate about flex or Rupes. So let's talk about it a little bit. First off, out of respect, I respect my elders. This flex has been around a little longer. Now in today's world, 5, 6, 7, 8 years is a very long period for a polisher to stay active. The world's changing within detailing so quickly, but let me tell you, I started out with this unit. Matter of fact, this is my very first flex from back in 05, 06. I've even got my camera mount on it. So I've done a lot of work with this from everything from Air Force One to collector cars. I've detailed all over the world with it. It's a great machine. Now, little history. Let's go back on history. Before this machine came out, we had a couple options. If you go way back into the dinosaur ages when I started detailing, really our only option we had was rotational polishers. Now we had the big, huge gym polishers and a lot of those things that car washes still to today use, and they're great options. We had the Cyclo, which was a great option. But for those of us that were doing really heavy paint correction back in the day, the rotational polisher was the answer. A lot of us decided back then we'd correct with that rotational and we'd finish with that rotational. And that was really hard work. Now I always tell people, I would love to go back 25, 30 years and look at what I thought was good workmanship back then. By today's standards, I don't think I'd be too proud of my work. Now, it wasn't because I was a bad detailer, it was just because the equipment that we had, it just wasn't up to snuff by today. Now flash forward to the middle part of the decade. 05, 06, I get my hands on the 3401. We've been using some DA polishers, but nothing like this bad dog. This thing came in, it's actually a forced action. Meaning, for all layman's terms, it's kind of a hybrid high speed. What it does is it's got a really low swing, so it's got that throw, about 7 to 8 millimeter throw, like the DAs of its time had. But it's also rotating much like a rotational does. So we can have the cutting effect of a high speed, but we could finish down like we did with the DAs of its time. It's been a great machine. You can do a lot of things. Now, Anthony, my buddy down in Florida, he had a great way of explaining this just last week. We're working on a project down in Texas. And he called this the Swiss Army knife of polishers. This thing does a little bit of everything. It's just a heavy load work truck of the detailing industry. Now, flash forward, here a couple years ago, at SEMA, we saw some sexy Italian stuff come into the play. The Rupes came out, and when we first saw it, many of us, we wanted one. And some people got a test run with them, and it was an incredible test drive. This is truly a DA, meaning that this has got a massive 21-inch throw on it, meaning it is just getting out there and getting after it. Unlike the DAs of previous times, this thing can correct, and I'm telling you, you can put, a lot of people say you don't need downward pressure on this thing. You can put downward pressure on this and get a lot of correction. To the level of the flex, pretty dang close. So I'm going to take it, on my opinion, just my opinion, I think that you can do a little more heavy correction with the Flex 3401 or rotational than you can this. But for the average detailer out there, guys, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, this is pretty much all you need right now. This machine is incredible. So let's show you real quickly how these different machines work. Okay, forced action. We talked about what this thing does and what it does good. It corrects paint. It's got a smaller throw, as you can see. It's not getting out there and throwing, but as I rev this up, you're going to see, man, it's got some torque. Now, the nice thing about that torque is, as you push down, the pad's not going to stop. You're going to see on the DA is that I can actually stop the motion of the pad if you're not careful. On this one, good luck stopping this thing. If you stop it, you're taking the paint off. So I'm going to start it out slow so you can see it. This is just speed 1. As I come up and get involved in this, and no matter what pressure I put down, it is not stopping or even slowing down. It just keeps working and cutting and correcting paint. Now let's go ahead and talk about the Rupes. Now this is a beast of a DA. Until this baby came out, we just didn't see all the options, all the ergonomic control of it. The throw definitely hadn't been as much. 21 on this particular one. Now, Rupes management, you know, I know you guys don't like this, but I've got the 21s designed to be used. I'm going to go ahead and qualify this. The 21 is designed to be used with a 6-inch backing plate. Now, I love the 5-inch on this 21. I'm not a 6-inch guy. I prefer the 5-inch. So I'm going to tell you that the Rupes guys don't recommend this. Matter of fact, they're going to tell you not to, but I can't help myself. I just love the 5-inch option with this. So one thing you'll notice about this is I started out, it's a really quiet machine, very smooth. Now I'm going to take and you can see on all the backing plates is I've put a single line. Now some people will put double. And as I start spinning this, you're going to see why I do it, is that this starts spinning. Now the reason why that line does is that if I put this off canter a little bit, it's going to stop and it's just going to go back and forth. That means that my pad's not spinning and my correction ability is diminished a little bit. So let me show you that. So as I get it on, you can see the travel, you can see the line just going on here. But if I all of a sudden tilt it, you're going to see that line stop, or actually, here it is. It's sitting over right by me, right there. See it? Now I'm going to go ahead and let it go again. So that's just something that you do as control. So this machine you got to pay a little more attention to, but look at how smooth, one-handed. My hand's here, and I'm just running this. Now if I rev it up, that's all the way to speed 6, and you can see if I put torque down, there it goes. See, it stopped it again? But really, you don't need to do that. Is by having that line on there, if you're going to be a pro or detail like one, you got to be watching and listening and paying attention to your surface. Okay, I'm asked all the time, flex, Rupes, flex, Rupes. You got to ask yourself this. I don't see them as the same machine. I don't see them for the same usage. You've got the 34-1 and you got the PE high speed on the flex side. You got this beautiful 21 and 15. They've got a whole new model line coming up through with Rupes. There's two different machines. You've got a Swiss Army knife within the flex. It's going to do it all. Or you've got the precision of a surgeon's scalpel with the Rupes. What do you want? There's two different machines. For the average guy out there that's detailing, if you're a do-it-yourselfer, this Rupes is a beautiful machine. It's going to be hard to beat. If you're a pro and you're not doing a lot of heavy paint correction, mainly sanding, again, the Rupes is going to be in my hand. But if you're doing heavy correction and you're doing any kind of amount of sanding, I'm going to tell you right now, the 3401 or the PE high speed is going to be the way to go. But it's a system, really. One doesn't take and overweigh the other. If you're a true professional and you're an artist, you're going to want both. So hey, from Auto Detailing TV, I'm Renny. Have fun choosing. They're both beautiful machines.